Good day everyone! Welcome back to the 2020 online and self-guided PFA modules. We are now on the last module of this PFA, Module 4, Identifying Sources of Strength, that can be found on PFA Module page 35. Rationale. The aim of this module is to encourage students to revisit their strengths in order to support their self-efficacy to deal with their situation. In order to encourage a hopeful outlook, the module serves to reinforce students' sources of support and internal and external resources. Objectives. To identify personal, social, and emotional sources of strengths during and in the aftermath of the disaster or stressful situation. To identify their internal and external sources of strength. Review. Does anyone remember what the 3 previous sessions were about? Last meeting, we talked about our needs and how to address them. We have discussed on how to control our reactions and emotions. Now, let us reflect on what has helped us to move on. We are able to move on and not to feel the way that we were feeling days or months ago because we have strengths. This is a drawing of a kite or saranggola. Can you tell me what makes it go up in the air? Yes, you're right. Through the wind, made up of good materials with a line or a long string and strong brace. This is our way of reminding you that you have resources within yourselves or with others that have allowed you to begin your process of recovery. Just like a kite, you too have what it takes to fly. Activity. Can you draw a kite with 4 corners like a diamond? On each corner of the kite shaped in diamond, please write down your sources of strength. What makes you strong despite what you have gone through? Can you also identify what or who acts like the wind for you? Who or what helps you soar? Analysis. What have you realized about each other after that group sharing? What have you realized about yourself? Do we have common sources of strengths? Abstraction. How are you similar to the kite? Can you think of other objects that can be a symbol for your many sources of strength? Application. The next time you would feel weak, what will you focus on in order to remind yourself that you have a number of sources of strength? Would any one of you want to volunteer to come up with a poem or a rap about the sources of strength that you have learned? Here is an example.
Ang aking saranggola sa akin manang-mana. Matibay ko, matibay din siya. Itangay man ng hangin ay mas lilipad pa. Lahat ng pagsubok ay kayang-kaya.
Let's now have the students' activities and output.
Activity. Ang aking saranggola.
Introduction.
Hi! On the first day, we have discussed validating and normalizing our feelings. Second day was about on how to calm down and manage our feelings. We also talked about our needs and how to address them. How are you today? You just have one last module to do before you reach the end of these PFA sessions. Today, we will focus on your sources of strength. This is our way of reminding that you have resources within yourself or with others that have allowed you to begin to face the new normal, your process of recovery. On the next page is a drawing of a kite or what we call a saranggola. Another name for it is gurion or bulador. Among the Cebuanos, it is called banog-banog. Here is an example of a kite. Can you tell me what makes it go up in the air? You are right. It needs the wind to go up in the air. What can make it strong enough to not break by the air? It needs a strong brace. It needs good materials. It needs a line of a long string. And the paper must be properly glued.
Just like a kite, you too have what it takes to fly. On each part of the kite, shaped in diamond, write down what you think is your sources of strength. What makes you strong despite what you have gone through during the past few months of pandemic? An example would be, ang pagiging matatag, buo ang loob, masayahin, at may tiwala sa sarili. So here are the examples of my strengths written on each corner of the kite. Can you also identify the following? What or who acts like the wind for you? Who provides you with support? Who or what helps you soar? On the areas outside the kite, write down the names of these people or things that act like the wind for you. Here is an example. Take time to color your drawing. Below it, write a brief explanation about your sources of strength and the people and things who act like the wind to help you fly or soar. This is the explanation. My sources of strengths are mostly coming from my family and God. They are the ones who supported me all through my problems and during the time I am weak. Here is the actual format of the kite. After drawing it, you color it, answer each corner, and write your explanation below. Analysis. What have you realized about yourself after drawing the kite? Abstraction. How are you similar to the kite? What are your strengths as a person? The next time you feel weak, imagine your saranggola in order to remind yourself that you have a number of sources of strength. Finally, can you write a poem with 1 stanza and 4 lines? Isang saknong na may 4 na linya o taludtod ng tula about your sources of strengths? Here is an example. Ang aking saranggola sa akin manang-mana. Matibay ko, matibay din siya. Itangay man ng hangin ay mas lilipad pa. Lahat ng pagsubok ay kayang-kaya. Closing. Facing the mirror, read and recite out loud the poem you have written about your sources of strength. That ends the Module 4 for the 2020 Online and Self-Guided PFA Modules. Thank you for watching!